I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was first offered the idea of covering a frontier monster, I was a bit hesitant. BDW, thank you, Cosmic Reject Zeke, for the idea over on the Rage Gaming Discord. I'll leave his channel in the description, as well as Rage Gaming's channel in the description. If you're watching this, and you probably already know who he is, but I asked for a monster to cover in between parts 1 and 2 of Monster Hunter Polar to fill the void. He suggested his favorite monster, Voljang. I took him up on that. I have no clue what to cover. See, I've never played Frontier, and I only know bits and pieces of it. It's like whatever I say with a gallon of salt. Seeing as this will be my first video on Frontier, I plan on doing more once I can actually play it, but since that's the case, I'm just going to cover a fairly broad topic instead. Instead of just talking about Voljang, I'm going to be talking about origin species. I have a good bit to say on them. Psh, I'm supposed to shill at the start of videos, so if you like what you see, hit that like button, I don't know, maybe subscribe. It'd really help out this tiny baby channel. Alright, thanks. So, what are origin species? Well, as the name suggests, these are evolutionary ancestors of monsters that we see today, i.e. Voljang and Voljang. These species are often more primal and vicious in terms of design, personality, and gameplay. These ancient species have survived for who knows how long, yet in that time they've seen little to no evolutionary change, yet seem to remain at the top of the food chain. The four origin species are, I apologize if I butchered these names, Gerudomosu, Yamakurai, Toa Tescatora, and of course Voljang. Gerudomosu is the ancestor of Gravios, Yamakurai is the ancestor of Yamasukami, Toa is Teo and Lunostra, etc. You get the idea. Each one is distinct from their further counterparts, yet the base mold remains the same. They often feature parts that are super foreign to the base monster as well. I'll start off with what I like about origin species. Simply, the concept of ancient monsters is thrilling to me. It also leads to more questions related to them, and of course, the expansion of our current definitions of monsters. They also give some monsters a chance to be presented differently, like Yamasukami or Teostra/Luna. It is unlikely we'll see anything significant for these monsters, like variants or deviants, in future games, so it's nice to see something different from them. The designs are unique and interesting, they don't feel overdone, and are fairly simplistic, Frontier considered. You're able to tell who exactly they relate to, and what they're capable of, which is honestly very good, because Monster Hunter is very visual based. You should be able to see a monster, immediately go, oh, it's this monster, it can do this, and this is what's special about it. And special shout out to my man Gerudomosu. I love the water pipes. I wish more monsters could, like, use water. I don't know, that's a weird way of describing that anyway. Now it's time for my gripes. I think they are far too much of a departure from the base monster, except for Yamakurai. I know I shouldn't be asking the question of how can this be an animal when it comes to Frontier, but I guess you can say I'm asking a different question this time. How did we get to this point? If these are supposed to be ancestors to a degree, then how does Ice King Toa go to Fire King Teo? There is such a drastic change in not only appearance but ability as well. Even Voljang. I mean, I will say this. I love Voljang's design. Cool rock monkey. It's not like we're seeing any of that recently. The magma fist and fire portals. It's a cool design, but it's just such a departure from Voljang's design. He feels like an entirely different creature almost. I feel like changing their name or what they're called from origin species honestly would probably be a better idea. Something like divergent species. These species all share the same similar ancestor, and then through evolutionary differences, they diverge into different paths. So instead of having Voljang be the ancestor of all Vojangs type thing, but he is different. Instead, there's another mystery ancestor for Voljang, and as the path goes down, it splits into Voljang and Rajang. So there's examples of this in nature currently as well. I mean, just look at dogs, where they're all share a similar sort of ancestor, yet due to crossbreeding and environmental differences, we have two different species. Not two different. We have so many different species of dogs. I know there's probably more information I can dig up on, well, divergent species, and that would probably make my case better for saying that these are divergent species rather than origin species, but I digress. I'm writing a video, not a college paper. Conclusion. I love the concept and the idea behind origin species, and I would love to see this brought into the mainline game. However, if they are essentially another monster entirely, yet happen to share the same build as Yonkaku, then that's probably just another species. Take Yongaruga! I think they can execute it in a way that sparks entire new discussions and theory crafting and ideas related to how certain monster ancestors relate, and even how certain other monsters relate more closely. I think that's wonderful, and I think it's a discussion we've needed for a while, because there's always been this sort of allusion to these ancient monsters back and how just straight up powerful they were. And besides, I would love to see more than just 4 origin species, like Origin Laggy origin species. I'm down for that, you know, as long as it's not laggy, but he's got frostbite. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and leaving a like. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Really helps this small channel get out there. Because I know YouTube algorithm, and I've been watching YouTube and being part of YouTube community since YouTube started. You know? I just want to keep putting my best foot forward into all my content, which is why I'm not doing daily uploads or even weekly uploads anymore, because I want to take time and put work into what I'm putting out. I'm working on improving my audio, because my audio in the Monster Hunter Polar video was trash. But I do hope you stay tuned, and I will keep working on whatever I bring forward, you know, when I'm not playing Elden Ring, of course, which my friend convinced me to buy, and then he can't even play with us. So, I'll see you all next time. Later.